Hi students, Mr. Metelsky here, and this video will be covering how to solve systems of equations using the elimination method. And I would consider this an advanced example because it involves a little bit more than a traditional elimination problem. So we have our two equations here. We have two equations, two variables, x and y. And remember, with elimination, what we're trying to do is we're trying to look for coefficients that are either the same or opposite. And that would allow us to add or subtract to eliminate. So in this problem here, if we look at the coefficients of x, unfortunately -2 and -7 are not the same, and they're not opposites. And the same goes for y. We have 6 and 8, definitely not the same number and not opposites either. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to find what we call a linear combination of both of them. Meaning, how could we look at these amounts and multiply them by something so that they'll look like the other equation? So in order to do this, we need to focus on one of the variables. So for our point, or for our problem here, I don't think it really matters. So I'm just going to pick x. So right now we have -2 and -7. Not the same. But we could look at what would be their least common multiple. So 2 and 7 both go into 14. So if we could make one of them -14 and one of them +14, we would be in business. So in order to make the top one equal to 14 or -14, we could multiply that by 7. So we're going to take this entire equation here and multiply everything by 7. So 7 times -2x is -14x. 7 times 6y is 42y, so plus 42y. And 7 times 6 is 42. Now, we need to do this, a similar thing down here, but now we have -7x, and we want it to be 14x. But actually, it would be really good if it was positive 14x, because negative plus a positive would end up being 0. So if we take this equation here, and if we want it to be positive 14, we'd have to multiply -7 by -2. So we're going to multiply everything in this equation by -2. So -2 times -7x is 14x. -2 times 8y is -16y. And -2 times -5 is 10. So now we have our two equations, and we can add these two equations together to get our final, or to get one of the variables eliminated. So if we look here, -14x plus 14x cancels. 42y plus -16y gets us 26y. And 42 plus 10 is 52. So now we have a much simpler equation, 26y equals 52. If we divide both sides by 26, that cancels and we're left with y equals 2. So now we have one of our variables, and we just need to solve for the other one now. So just like the other types of, or the other example problems in elimination that you've probably already done or looked at, you have to take that and plug it back into one of the original equations to get the other variable. So there's no rule for which one to pick. I usually pick the one that, in my opinion, looks easier. I think in this case, honestly, it really probably doesn't matter because they both are fairly, the same in terms of how complicated they are. So I'm just going to take the top equation, -2x plus 6y equals 6. And I'm going to take this y equals 2 and plug it in right there. So this will become negative 2x plus 6 times 2 equals 6. And then we just need to do some simplifying. So 6 times 2 is 12. So we have negative 2x plus 12 equals 6. We could subtract the 12 on both sides. So that cancels, and we're left with negative 2x equals negative 6. Last step, we can divide by negative 2 to get rid of the multiplication. So x equals 3. So now we have our x coordinate, or our x part of the coordinate, and the y. So our final answer would be x comma y, or 3 comma 2. Okay. So remember, in this type of elimination where there's no original setup of a variable that's opposite, in the numbers, it's not like one of them is 1, where we could just multiply only one of the equations. In this scenario, we need to multiply both of the equations. So we looked at the x's. Although if we wanted to, we could have looked at the y's. Because if I multiply, well, let's look, 6 and 8, both of those numbers go into 24. So if I multiplied 6 by 4, and 8 by negative 3, then we would add 24y and negative 24y, which would have canceled. So we could have done it that way as well. All right, good luck as you're working. If you need any help, please let me know.